Now, recorded from the basement of the house I own the mortgage on, it's just another day. I was originally going to start with Ding Dong, the Witch is Dead. But I'm going to use that for a special occasion. I've seen too many other YouTubers use it. So I'm just going to just leave that alone. I'm going to start with the power of one, the power of two, the power of multiple forms of bankruptcy. Hey, do you know there are like 7 different types of bankruptcy? There's Chapter 7, Chapter 11, Chapter 13, Chapter 9, Chapter 10, Chapter 12, and Chapter 15. I don't know if there's a 14. I didn't read too much in this Vistapedia article, so moving on back to the Acolyte. So, thanks to Mr. Tassi from Forbes. Right now, everyone is processing or celebrating Disney canceling the Acolyte. The ambitious, no it wasn't, but expensive and barely watched, yes it was, series that created a culture war firestorm not seen since The Last Jedi. No, there was no firestorm. It was horrible. The only firestorm was actually watching the show. It was a trash fire. But behind the scenes, there is now a story that stretches beyond that. One that feels like Disney is almost pulling out of live-action, high-budget Star Wars shows on Disney Plus altogether. They should. Most of them are a waste of time and money. Daniel Reichman, or is it Richmond? Either way, put this together, and he's right. We are now at a point where, yes, future Star Wars movies are finally being developed again. No, they're not. But Disney Plus shows, they feel like they're skidding to a stop with only one confirmed series moving forward. Now out of more than half a dozen we've seen. No. It didn't skid, they slammed. They cut all these projects, it was a slam. Up against the wall. So, The Acolyte has obviously been canceled. The upcoming Southern Crew, which comes out in December, is going to be a limited series. Andor was always meant to be a 2-season show and will end after the upcoming season 2, which is a crime. They could probably get a couple more episodes out of it, and it was a great show. Seriously, 12 episodes of greatness. Obi-Wan may have Ewan McGregor and Hayden Christensen itching to make it more than a limited series, as they've said. But there is no movement on that at all. And I'm going to be honest, good, because it almost ruined the character. It ruined the lore. They weren't supposed to fight again until the battle on the Death Star. And before that was 18 years ago on Mustafar. The book of Boba Fett was received terribly because it was a terrible show, and we're not going to season 2. It shouldn't have got a season 1 because I don't know what that was, but that was not Boba Fett. And anyone who knows Star Wars knows that was not Boba Fett. The planned Donald Glover Lando series is now a movie because everyone seemed to memory hole Solo a Star Wars story. They don't remember that lost money. And after going through 3 directors, honestly, it's if they did anything, it'll be a series again. Lucasfilm and Disney are scared to put out Star Wars movies. The planned Mandalorian spin-off, Rangers of the New Republic was canceled, likely in part because of the Gina Carano debacle. Well, yeah, that was a debacle. Totally completed the way it was handled. They let her go for saying stuff that a lot of her castmates, especially Pedro, have put out. And she wasn't wrong. And that entire show is built around Cardoon. Jon Favreau built that entirely around Cardoon. And without Cardoon, there's no Rangers of the New Republic. So, there you go. Then there's The Mandalorian, where it has become unclear if Season 4 will actually come into fruition. Well, into existence, either way. After the Mandalorian Grogu film is released, there's not going to be a film. They're not going to do it. They're just not going to do it. Again, they're scared to put a Star Wars movie out because they know it's going to lose money. We just don't have enough details to know whether that could end up as a finale for their story, or season 4 is going to be, or season 4 is even going to happen. If they do a season 4, it's going to be what the movie was supposed to be. they're going to take a 2 hour plot and stretch it out to like 8 to 10 episodes, just like they did with Obi-Wan. That leaves Ahsoka, and Ahsoka is Dave Filoni's baby. He's not going to let that die. That is the only show we know for sure is getting a second season, and no other live-action Star Wars shows have even been announced because they're not going to do anymore, except for Ahsoka. They've spent too much money. They've lost too much money. This is opposed to a number of films in the works, from The Return of Daisy Ridley's Rey, poor Daisy Ridley, to James Mangold's Dawn of the Jedi movie. They're not going to do movies. They're not. If they do them, and I'm going to be optimistic and say 5 years, I can see that. Even TV shows in 5 years. Most likely 10. Because they've just destroyed so much goodwill to Star Wars fans, even those who were trying to hold on and defending them. I mean, the sequel movies had a steady decline. I mean, yeah, they still made billions of dollars. But the Rise of the Skywalker, that didn't make as much money as it should have. So, another reason that the Acolyte is getting canceled. Money, money, money. The Acolyte cost $180 million for 8 episodes. A reporter for the New York Times indicates that Star Wars Acolyte had a net budget of $180 million for 8 episodes, averaging $22.5 million per episode. So, see, Godzilla minus 1 costs $15 million. 180 divided by 15 is 12. Yeah, you could have 12 Godzilla minus 1s. Now, it wasn't the most expensive show. The most expensive show was Andor at $250 million for 12 episodes, which means, just by the spread, $20.83 million per episode. And I'm going to tell you the difference between Andor and the Acolyte. You can see the money was well spent on Andor. I mean, you got some big, talented names like Fiona Shaw and Stellan Skarsgård in there. Andy Serkis was part of it. So you've got some big talent and a good eye. With the directors creating a quality Star Wars product with a great story. So again, Andor is pretty good. I mean, it looks like they took another story and turned it into a Star Wars story, which is okay if you stay within the lore. But $180 million. That budgetary figure includes the previous mentioned, I don't see where it was mentioned, $49.2 million spent on pre-production. That money disappeared. I don't know where it went, but I don't think it went to pre-production. Probably went into someone's pocket. So that's it. I mean, they can't do it. And it was a horribly written show. I mean, go watch like The Drinker and Mauler and the EFAP guys, and go watch, Film Threat. Robert Meyer Burnett. Watch. I mean, I know it sounds like I'm shilling and pushing all these other guys. And why not? They do some good content. It was such a horribly written show. And horribly acted. And I'm assuming because of that, horribly directed as well. There was no... things didn't make sense. I mean, yeah, there were lightsabers, and there was hyperspace, and there's Jedi, and there's the Republic, and there's the Council, and there's stuff like that. But it was like, no, this is not good. This is not good. It makes no sense. I mean, doing the Parent Trap thing with May and Osha, really? Even though, May's got that circle thing spiral in her head. and uh, Soul couldn't figure it out that was her. And the whole reason for their, I mean, you find out later why they what happens. But it's like the only reason that they're not like the Jedi is, oh, they're bad. Oh no, the Jedi are good. I mean, I don't need an explanation of how they made the kids from the Force, but you know, oh, just horribly written show. Characters, they have no real. I mean, their motivations are messed up. They're not consistent. It's just a horrible show, guys. Just admit it. I know there's a petition to bring it back, but it was just a horrible show. I've literally seen. Oh God, how do I start this? Sci-fi Saturday Night Special movies. I've seen better writing and plot. Um, Stories just make a bit more sense. There's cheesy science fiction and fantasy from like companies like Aerostorm. With their for God's sakes, they've got a crowdfund for a budget, but some of their stuff's on Tubi. It's pretty good, but even that's better. I mean, you know, dear Lord, Axel Braun probably makes better Star Wars and writes better stories than this. So, it's got to be over. It has to be. I mean, again, it was just a horrible show. You don't have to. I mean, you can try to defend it with all the politics and racism, this and toxic fans, that. It was just a horrible show. And if the audience you were looking for would have watched it, it might have gotten another season. But no one was watching it. So, that's about it. Star Wars has had its final nail in the coffin. They think they're going to create something. I mean, if Kathleen Kennedy thinks with this that she's going to retire anywhere on a high note, she's going to be at Lucasfilm forever. So, that's it, guys. Like, subscribe. Feel free to give me a comment. Let me know what you think. Thanks. Oh, wait, I'm sorry. There is a great silver lining here. And that is, with all these cancellations, it might, in the name of God, please help us all, might make these people realize that they need to create better content. It's going to be better media. So, that's it. I mean, a lot of game studios are letting people go. They're canceling projects. Kevin Feige's kind of woken up, realized that he's wasted all this money on Phase 4 and 5, that they have to get back to somewhere. So, the silver lining here, the silver lining, we're going to get better content soon. All right, so like I said before, like, subscribe if you appreciate the content. Feel free to leave a comment. Bye. If you liked the video, like and subscribe, or leave a comment at the bottom, because I could use the help and I have no clue what I'm doing right now.